Yeah,
It's
and we
too
have a big
many.
reveal for the 500.
We do. And let's go ahead and reveal, right? Now's the time.
Yeah.
There is a new. We want to give a big thank you to our sponsor, Touring and Cruises. Here's something you might not know. Booking with a travel advisor doesn't cost you anything. Disney pays them after you travel. You'll pay the same price you see online, but Touring and Cruises adds an enhanced level of service. Their expert advisors watch for discounts and apply them automatically, even after you book. And it's not just Disney. They can help with cruises, Universal, and all kinds of vacations. Whether you want help planning it all or just someone in your corner if plans change, they're here to help. And yes, they'll wait on hold with Disney 4 hours, so you don't have to. So when you're ready to plan your next trip, head to touringandcruises.com and tell them Rope Drop Radio sent you. Now, let's rope drop.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. I am Doug McKnight here with Lauren Shields. And Lauren, we have an exciting show because we're going to talk about tips to deal with peak Disney. And when I say peak Disney, I mean peak crowds, peak season, right, Lauren?
Yeah, which one's coming up with Christmas and New Year's? It's like the peakest of the peak.
Yep, so we're going to be talking all the peaks in episode 500. That's a big number.
Congratulations, buddy. 500, that's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, and that doesn't count all the little random bonus episodes that used to happen. Used to do a lot of random nonsense. And so it's like 530 or 540, really.
Yeah, and we have a big reveal for the 500.
We do. And let's go ahead and reveal, right? Now's the time.
Yeah.
There is a new logo coming for Rope Drop Radio. Lauren, why don't you tell them about this creative process?
Oh, it was rough. Doug and I agreed on nothing. Nothing.
We agreed.
All started with a microphone. So there is no microphone.
They're currently old logo.
But on the new logo, that is gone. I fought hard for that. I lost that battle. But I won many others, so I feel okay about that now.
I feel like all the other battles.
Well, we showed it to Patreon members today, and they enjoyed it. So I think we're doing okay so far.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it took a while because I was very picky. And our sweet logo designer, Jaden, had all the patience for me that he possibly could. And I was driving you nuts. And you would text me on the side and be like,
isn't that
pretty much how that went?
I mean, at times it did, but it had to. That's the process. We wanted to get something good and right and something that we could put on shirts legally, where the current logo, the microphone on the current logo is stylized after Mickey Mouse, and the Walt Disney Company is not a fan of that for some reason. And so there's been lots of letters over the years about the current logo. And so that's why you can't actually go and buy shirts and apparel. So that's kind of the next process that we'll have stuff with the new logo, and we'll be rolling that out over the course of the week, slowly getting it updated onto the podcast host, which will send it out to like Apple and Spotify and things. We don't actually go to Apple and place it and go to Spotify. Our host site does that. And then we also have like Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X.
We are still update.
Technically there. Patreon will probably update that first. So if you see it showing up in your feed differently, don't delete it. Make sure to listen to it. It's going to look different. It's going to take some getting used to, right?
Yes. Well, I will say my favorite thing about it is we kept with the red and the yellow. And I kept arguing about shades. And then finally, Jaden, the designer, said, here's Husker red, here's Hawkeye yellow. And I was like, yes, that is it. So we kept the red and yellow, but have a nod to living in the Midwest.
Yes. And the fact that we're Husker and Hawkeye here. So, yeah. And Jaden is a Husker. That's why the red is bigger, I think, Lauren.
He was a little biased.
I think so. No, the bigger one was always red, though.
It was, yeah.
I think I think it looks better that way than the yellow being the bigger. But there you go. The logo is coming. Very excited about that. So hopefully you guys like it. Patrons saw it first. Lauren, anything about patrons this week?
So no new Patreons this week, but hopefully we get some to join us, because I told you next week for sure I'm going to do the $25 Disney gift card raffle. So be sure to join if you want to be part of that. There's still time. But please join us at patreon.com. We do a weekly after show, a bonus show after our normal show, where we're very unfiltered. Doug likes to give the news once a week. So lots of good things to check out there.
Yes, and all the patrons are eligible for the raffle. Even ones that might be a guest today. There's a little tip about our guests. Yeah. So, but another great way to support the show is leaving a 5-star review. Leave a 5-star review. We will read it on air and love you forever. This review is titled From Another Disney Dentist. Oh, we're getting into the dentist reviews.
Came out. Okay.
Yes, there's buckle up. There's several of them. All right. From Alana or AlanaEC. Alana, I believe. Yes. And maybe, yes. AlanaEC. There we go. All right. We typically go to Disneyland since based in Boise, but we got an annual pass to Walt Disney World this year and binged this podcast and enjoyed all the topics covered and perfect length for my commute. Yes, there you go.
Nice. Well, thank you for that nice review. That is so. My husband sometimes has like a 45-minute commute, and that's what he saves the podcast for. So glad we can join you on your commute. And nurses, please help me, because the dentists are coming after us. We need some reviews. Please leave them. We would love you forever, as Doug likes to say.
Yes, we will. So thank you very much for that review, and glad that you got a Walt Disney World annual pass. That's exciting. A lot more with Walt Disney World annual pass than the Disneyland one. 4 versus 2, right? In theory. Okay, now the Stuffy of the week is over Lauren's shoulder, and it is in a tree this week.
Yes, we went Christmas shopping, and I was like, I want a little tree for the podcast for like the background, and I found this awesome Darth Vader one that I can't play because it will go on forever and annoy everybody.
No one needs that.
No, but it is awesome. And if you ever see it, it's like coordinated lights, and he breathes, and anyway, it's very cool. And we also have Stuffy of the week in the tree because she's very small.
Yeah, so go to YouTube. Go on YouTube.
Yeah, we did get some comments this week, so the kids were very excited about that. But yeah, leave a comment on YouTube letting us know who you see for Stuffy of the week.
Mainly letting the kids know, because
that's the only they care.
Yeah, they really do. It makes and breaks their little fragile hearts. So YouTube, Rope Drop Radio, go leave a comment. All right. Well, after the break, we're going to get to peak season with a guest that is the master of navigating the parks in the peak season. I don't know. I'm just going to give him a title of master, I guess. So, all right. After this break, we'll be right back. Hey, Nebraska rope droppers. Getting to the magic just got easier. The Lincoln Airport now offers nonstop flights to Orlando twice a week on Breeze Airways. Every Wednesday and Saturday. Skip the layovers and get straight to Mickey faster than ever. I've flown Breeze myself. It's a great experience with one of the youngest fleets in the sky, flying only Airbus A220s. So next time you're planning a Disney vacation, start at Lincoln Airport, your shortcut to the magic. And we are back. All right, guys, it is time to welcome our guest to the show. It is a guest that's been on many times, so it's only appropriate he is on for the 500th episode, because I was thinking probably on the 4th most shows or 5th most shows out of everybody in the history of Rope Drop Radio. So we're going to welcome to the show, Mr. Alex Cenac. Welcome.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I really like the logo, so I think it's an improvement. Very simple. So kudos to you guys for that, and hopefully it will attract more eyeballs and earballs. So
the earballs are what we're after. Yes. We wanted to go simpler, but yet not quite Cracker Barrel simple. So,
hey, I mean,
we'll see. We'll find out in a week where we land on that spectrum. Hopefully
we'll see. But that's high praise coming from you, Alex. So we appreciate it.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to talking about peak season. Seems like I am knee deep in helping people plan for the upcoming travel season. So
Yeah. So for those that don't know, why don't you just give the listeners the Cliff Notes version on your Disney experience?
I mean, went one time as a child, we actually went to Disneyland on our Griswold vacation before we even went to Disney World, but I'm from Louisiana, went one time, and we went for, 2 days, when I was a kid. I think we went some kind of weird, really close together. I had this weird memory of actually going to River Country, and so, but it would have made total sense because my dad is a water park fanatic, but they did not go again until, we were in Louisiana for Katrina, and we needed a vacation, so we went with Eloise. And when she was little, and I was doing the same thing, I was commuting right when all the iPods came out, and I was starting to listen to podcasts like the old Mouse Tunes, Lou Mangello, the original WDW Today, and then about 5 or 6 of them that haven't played in forever, Van with Netcott and stuff like that. And then and we just kept going and going and going, and then I stopped practicing law because we moved to Phoenix, and then became a travel advisor, and it's just, the rest is kind of history.
Nice. And you and Lauren are co-workers. I think you left that part out. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are. I like to bug him and ask him questions all the time. And sometimes he answers them.
Sometimes being able to know the answer. So, but normally Michelle knows the answer first. So
correct.
Yeah.
Jeez. Is she the know-it-all? Is that what I heard?
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you're going to plead the fifth.
A little bit. It probably depends on what the travel topic is, but I would say usually yes.
I just assume she already asked Michelle. Michelle's too busy, and so then she kind of has to whimpers over and asks me out of pity. So, but that's okay.
All right. Well, let's talk peak season. And the first real question is, what are the peak seasons? Is it more than one thing? Is it all year? What is peak Disney?
I mean,
are you asking me or Alex?
All right. Alex will go first, then we'll go over to Lauren.
And there you go. I couldn't tell. Okay, go ahead.
That's okay.
Go ahead and answer.
3. To me, peak season is, so touring plans, they do their crowd calendar 1 through 10s, 10's the highest, 1's the lowest. Peak season to me is anytime it's 8, 9s, and 10s, but and then kind of the general rule of thumb, holidays, major holidays, Christmas and New Year's, I guess from my opinion, the busiest to, then Thanksgiving, then probably Easter, then probably 4th of July, then probably Columbus Day in October. And then there's Jersey Week, which is a kind of a weird week in November that it can get really, really crowded. And then, and Jersey Week and Mardi Gras are kind of similar. They just kind of have those, there's not super crowded, but there's a whole lot of people from one place.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I think the race weekends can be peak season, but that's just because of the hotels and not necessarily the parks, but and also because of the transportation issues. And so being able to get around property, but that's kind of where I say would be peak season.
Lauren, anything different on that?
No, I agree. So any major holidays, I agree. Christmas and New Year's are the worst week to go crowd wise. But I agree pretty much with the exact order that you gave it with how busy it gets. Just then Thanksgiving, so on.
Yeah.
So.
And then Labor Day is not, Martin Luther King is not. Memorial Day can be if there's an attraction opening. And we got all the whatever spring 2026 means for the 3, a new Big Thunder, and I forget what else. But yeah, but if that's spring, because spring is what, March 23rd to June 22nd. So that's a heck of a and window. So I'm curious. Well, maybe it's April 20 something. So who knows what spring actually means. And so, but traditionally they've been, having soft openings, but then the official openings, Memorial Day. So Memorial Day is not actually, I wouldn't call that peak season.
But it has a tendency to inch that way. And so this year we'll have Grogu and the Mandalorian. with Smuggler's Run opening
May
around Memorial
22nd.
Day. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then also Soarin' Over America is opening with Memorial Day. Those are the only two we know officially around Memorial Day. The rest, like you said, are spring, and Lord knows what spring is. And then
Yeah.
this summer is Bluey, and that's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing once we have a date.
Yeah, it
I
just
think they made it hard to get to.
getting to Conservation Station.
Whoever- I talked about this on the
Rough.
news, but if they don't adjust the hours of that train, what are they doing? Like, there's going to be a line for that train at Rope Drop, even though it doesn't open till like 10 or 11 or something. I don't even know the hours of the train, because why would I? Is that a legitimate statement? Like,
I think I've been back there 3 times when they opened up the animation, right?
Yeah, to draw, because now that's
Yes.
what's back there is you can go do an animation class.
Yeah, and then there's a petting zoo. It's like, no, thank you. And
Hard pass.
And now mine are too old, and we just kind of walk by. And listen, I'm glad that like fantastic, and it definitely needs that. Like Bluey's perfect there. I understand putting it in animation courtyard, but it is perfect at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, just why did the line for? I hope they're prepared. I hope they're prepared, because I don't think they were on the Wonder. I've heard some stories about the Wonder about 4-hour long lines because Blue only met one day on the sailing.
Virtual queue.
They could have, but instead they had people zigzag through the D lounge.
Oh,
yeah, they could sell individual lightning lanes and they'd sell out. Why?
Yeah,
let's just. As a shareholder, I'm just gonna throw that out there, Disney.
Yeah.
And as someone that wouldn't have to worry about buying said lightning lane either. I just made every toddler parent angry, didn't I? Although would you? Because you're going with your time slot. Boy, we got off track quick.
Oh, I'd 100% pay.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and like my youngest is 8, and she like the girls still love Bluey. Like I would still pay money at this age.
Okay. All right. So peak seasons, yeah, it's a thing. So you're talking about like kind of the hidden ones are Mardi Gras and Jersey Week, right? We were there during Mardi Gras one time. It kind of overlapped with our spring break, so that also kind of elevates it when those hit. And I think one of my kids came home with an accent, so that was kind of cool. Little Cajun accent.
2026 Mardi Gras and President's Day coincide, and so it's that. So that will be a little bit more crowded this year than it would be because Mardi Gras changes. It's not the same day every year, and so it'll be an interesting to see how it kind of mixes, but then I think it coincides with the Super Bowl too, and Valentine's Day, and so there's a whole perfect storm of holidays all around each other. Then
interesting. All right. Well, let's move on to our next kind of question to set up the show here. Why would anybody want to travel during peak season if we know it's going to be busy? We know the week from Christmas to New Year's, the busiest the parks get. Why? Why would I go?
To me,
Alex?
I always, when I tell people, they ask me when to go, my answer is when's the best time to go for school, work, family, whatever. And while I can fit you in a time to do it and tell you how to navigate it, but it doesn't make sense for you to try and, avoid the peak times if you're going to miss, a sporting event or, or you just can't physically be there because of work. And so like, that's just, some people just have to go. Like I have a long-time clients, they go during Thanksgiving every year. It's just the time of year that they go. She's a school teacher, and then the kids are off. And so now the kids are in college. I mean, I've literally planned 6 trips for these people over, the past 13 years, and it's the same every time. So, yeah.
Yeah. Lauren, do you do peak time? You get to avoid it a little bit in the summer though.
I do, yeah, because we start school so late. I do avoid it in the summer. We've gone over Christmas before when the kids were little, just because we could, and it would fit. We could kind of pull them from school and go before Christmas, but before it got too crazy. But no, I agree. A lot of people just do it because that's what works out with schedules. If you have college age kids, it's usually you're waiting for them to come home. That's a big one. I have clients that work in the government. They can only really go during Christmas week with their roles and what they have to do with their jobs. And that just works out for everyone. So sometimes that's the only time of year you should go. Then you should still go. You just have to manage it, right?
Yeah, when our kids were little, we'd pull them from school and be like, I am
Yes.
so glad we can go in the middle of September, right? And or
Yeah.
the middle of January. We were so thankful for that. And we're like, I don't ever want to go at Christmas. Now when do we go? Thanksgiving, Christmas break, right? We go at those peak times because high school, it's really hard to miss high school, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
hard.
it changes it. And busy kids, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We went with Eloise, her first time between Christmas and New Year's, and we just because we were young associates, didn't know any better. Like, oh, let's just go. Who's going to be there? Like,
Right.
and then people ask all the time. It's like, is it even open on Christmas Day? I was like, yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's open every day, and so, and it was fine for us because she was 2. So we were back in the room by 8:00 every night, and which was great because we were sat on the balcony while she slept. But it was, we didn't know any better. So
Yeah, I think that's a good point. A lot of people don't realize that is the busiest week. I get that a lot. People are like, people actually go. And I'm like, everyone is traveling between Christmas and New Year's because everyone is off. So, and Christmas is done. They've done the family thing and now they're ready to go somewhere.
Yeah. Or you have you have to use your vacation. You just haven't used it yet because you haven't been able to. And so you're like, you know what? I'm just taking my vacation this week. Who cares? So,
yep.
Yeah.
All right, on to our tips now. The important part here, how to deal with the peak Disney crowds and how to deal with peak season. So we're going to go around the horn here, give a tip, give our opinions about said tip, and then kind of take 3 laps around the horn or so until we are all tipped out. All right, Alex, what is your first tip on dealing with peak season?
I mean, my first tip is going to be to use a travel agent. And I know it sounds a little self-serving, but you can talk to as many people as you want to and listen to whatever you want to and read. I've been during Christmas, 5 or 6 times. We go during July 4th. Like I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's nothing better than personal experience. And I probably plan 1,000 trips, over my tenure. I can help you, do that. And any good agent has been down there and has navigated themselves and can give you that firsthand knowledge.
That's a good tip. Yeah. And you're right. Any good agent has been there. They've experienced the holidays. They've experienced different times of year. I mean, it's funny. I'll get people that are like, well, what month have you gone before? And I was like, all of them.
All of them.
That's what you got to do to be able to do, your guys' job. So yeah, that's a good tip. I felt like I should chime in there, Lauren.
No, I agree. Like sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And I have had awful experiences just listening to people walk in during like spring break, like when we were doing park reservations and not know that you need a park reservation and they'd already bought the tickets. That was so painful to listen to that because I saw it coming. Like we were in line to rope drop and I just heard them and I'm like, oh no, like they don't know what they don't know. And I'm sure you hear it too in the park, Alex. You just hear someone like, what's a lightning lane? And you're like, oh, and it's like peak season and you have no shortcut to get on the ride.
I mean, when we first started going, there was still people buying day tickets on, December 29th. And you're like,
yeah,
you just do the sign of the cross and you walk, and keep walking. And I used to try and help people and Monique made me stop. She's like, you just can't help them now. I was like, but I just want to so much. And so, and yes,
they're just lost souls at that point.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Oh yeah. So, hey, first step, listening to Rope Drop Radio. There you go.
Yes.
That would be the ultimate first tip, but good. All right, Lauren, what is your first tip?
Yeah, also relates to the show for the namesake. You need to rope drop properly. So stay on site, take advantage of the early entry, get on the bus about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes before early entry begins to actually do like a proper rope drop. Mm-hmm. Getting to the park when early entry starts is not really rope dropping. You've already missed rope drop. You're hitting the back of that crowd, so you're not really going to have a huge advantage there. So I think just like when we go between Christmas and New Year's, we are always up and early and have a plan in mind.
It's new logo, but still rope drop radio.
Still the same thing. Yep.
Absolutely rope drop. I don't think we have any arguments with that one, do we, Alex?
No, I mean, like it's the secret sauce, and it's the first thing I tell my clients. I was like, you can ignore every piece of advice that I give you, except for be the first people at the park. Like it's just, it is pure. That is the time when the least amount of people are going to be in the park, and you can get your priority things done. And when you get your priority things done, it lessens the stress of the remainder of the day because you've already done the things that are important to you.
Yep.
And so, you know, and then it just kind of cascades from there, and you feel better as you're walking by Peter Pan and it's 120-minute wait. And you're like, I'm so glad we waited 5 minutes for that. And, you know, and it was all worth it. You know, all the maybe screaming, maybe yelling, maybe, you know, teeth gnashing, you know, yes. And so, you know, fun stuff that happens in the morning, and, you know, waking up and, you know, in a hotel in a strange environment, you know, with kids and navigating places you might never been before, but it's completely worth it. It just helps, like that feeling, those feelings go away once you've rope dropped and gotten what you wanted to get done.
And I've rope dropped on Thanksgiving and Christmas morning at the Magic Kingdom, and it is not busy for quite a while because so many people like stay back and do their Christmas stuff in the morning in the hotel, right? And then they go to the park, or they do their Thanksgiving types. They do a lunch and then come to the park. Like noon on at Magic Kingdom on Thanksgiving is like suffocating. But my gosh, the first few hours were fantastic. So my tip that I'm going to go with first is going to piggyback off of rope dropping. It's the midday nap. So they have extended park hours, typically during peak season. It's open a little later, may open a little bit earlier. Always be checking those park hours. So, and you're getting up early to go to avoid the big crowds. The biggest crowds there in the middle of the day, that is called nap time. So go home, take a nap. Well, not home, but back to your resort. Take a nap. There you go. Nap time.
Yeah.
No comments? Okay.
Well, I don't think Alex ever naps.
Too much caffeine in his veins for that.
You know, you either, you know, you spin the monorail around a couple of times, or maybe you hit, you know, Hall of Presidents or Carousel of Progress or some of the shows. You know, when stroller days, you know, strollers, you know, are for napping. And so, yeah, but I'm way beyond that now. But yeah, it's actually, it's a great idea, especially if you're going to park hop independent. You know, if you're going to Animal Kingdom and you're staying at Grand Floridian, and then you go to Magic Kingdom in the evening, you got to go back to the hotel anyway. You might as well refresh. And Monique always likes to, you know, kind of freshen up for dinner and look nice and look nicer. And so I would, you know, but yeah, there's no wrong answer. Right?
No,
you know, except for not rope dropping. That's the wrong answer. Any other thing you do beyond the rest of the day, you know, and yes, you woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get there, you know, and yeah, you're going to be tired. It's perfect because as you said, the hours are extended in the evening as well. Get that nap in, get the rest in, however you can do it, and be able to stay later.
All right. Next tip, Alex.
Mine is, you know, time is money. And so you'd have to buy Lightning Lane multi-pass, and then single pass. If those are the attractions that your family, you know, want to ride, thrill rides, or, you know, Rise of Resistance, or, you know, if you haven't been before, you know, or if you were truly there for one day, you know, Magic Kingdom, and, you know, maybe buy Premier Pass at Magic Kingdom, and then, you know, maybe don't do multi-pass, you know, find a way to use the tools Disney offers to, you know, decrease your wait in lines. So
smart.
Yeah. If you walk into the park and you're rope dropping and you have like the multi-pass, you're going to do fine, right? Like you're going to get on a lot of rides that day. Yeah. Use those two tools together. You should be pretty good, I think.
Yes, yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, 3 multi-pass, 2 single pass. That's 5 attractions, you know, and, you know, then you hit Space Mountain and, you know, first thing, and Peter Pan, and there you go. And then you're just able to then keep going, and then you're only looking for certain attractions for your multi-pass later on, because you've already done, those big ones. Or, as my kids like to ride, Space, and a couple of those multiple times, you do those without it, and then get one for later on.
Yeah.
And you've done more than the average guest by noon with that strategy.
This is true.
So, all right, Lauren, what's your next one?
So my next one is to hit up the attractions during the parades and fireworks, especially if you're not a big parades or fireworks person. With the nighttime parade now, especially, a lot of people are doing the parade and then going to the fireworks, and it's leaving a lot of time open to do the attractions. So we will usually do the fireworks like one night, but if we go back to the Magic Kingdom, we're probably doing rides during that time, and we get a lot of stuff done that way.
Alex, do you ever skip the fireworks to go on rides?
No, I'm a sucker for the fireworks. And so we just, we don't go to the parades because you don't catch anything. And so, but yeah. So but I do like Starlight a lot, and so, and then we just did the Christmas parade, and that's always, a ton of fun, but generally, and you have to be strategic where you are for the parade. Like, you can actually catch the parade in Frontierland and then hit Jungle Cruise and Pirates, because the majority of the park is blocked off from even getting over there. Mm-hmm. And so, and then when Big Thunder, or when Big Thunder used to be on that side, you couldn't get to Big Thunder. You could ride Big Thunder or Splash Tiana's over and over. So,
yeah. All right. That's a good one. Yeah, I agree, Lauren. I'm in the same boat. I'm not as big a sucker as Alex for the fireworks. So, all right. I guess that means it's my turn, isn't it? All right, I'm going to go with rent a stroller if you have a kid that's even borderline, even remotely contemplating it, rent it. Because the crowds, it's harder to navigate a child through there. So if they're on that borderline, I would say get the stroller. It also gives you kind of a home base with the crowds. Is it easy to push through the crowds? No, because everybody thinks right in front of you as you're pushing two children in a stroller is the spot to stop. But I would say renting a stroller is a good strategy, especially during peak season. Even if they've been, say the kid's on the borderline and you did a trip without it, when it wasn't busy for a couple days, but now you're going at peak season, I may contemplate putting them back in the stroller for the peak crowds. Maybe I'm crazy. Am I crazy?
No, I think you're right, because they're going to get tired waiting. There's going to be longer waits for rides, right? Their legs are going to be tired. I agree with that one.
Yeah, as someone who's carried their child from the Magic Kingdom all the way back to the Polynesian because we couldn't get on the monorail, nor I am completely with you that, stroller is necessary. The stroller can also serve as the napping place, as I said earlier. It also can serve as a parking space while you're waiting for the parade. And the parade, you can send one parent to line up at the parade and kind of hold your spot, and while the other people go and ride attractions while the lucky parent is with the child that's napping. So
that is the lucky parent. They're the one that's with the napping usually. That was always me. I'm not gonna lie, because the Michelle and the older kids were probably on a ride I couldn't do. So
couldn't or wouldn't.
What it is. Couldn't, Alex. Couldn't. I like roller coasters. They just don't like me back.
So, well,
yeah.
He's trying to figure out if he's going to do Rock and Roller Coaster when it gets opened for Muppets.
I'll be sitting right next to him. So,
right, well, it's a dentist. You have to.
Yeah, we just have to get row 12 because no protein spills on the from row 1. So.
I've done Rock and Roller Coaster. Would have been a few years ago, but I've done it as an adult.
Yeah.
Survived. I got further away from it than I have from Guardians or Tron. So
yeah,
it's promising. Not sure how. I think it might have been because I was younger. I don't know. Maybe I'm more youthful now. I'll do just find some magic elixir that makes me young. I'm sure the internet has some. No? Okay, whose turn is it? Is it Alex's turn?
Yeah,
it's
my
okay.
turn.
Let's
And
carry on here.
And mine kind of it's in a little bit in the weeds, and it kind of piggyback off my second one. But if you're going, you figure out the hotel where you want to stay, and because transportation during the peak times is a challenge, right? Transportation is always a challenge in Walt Disney World. During the peak times, it's a huge challenge. And, you being able to walk to a park is you can get back on your own, dime on your own 2 feet so much easier. And so you take the money and kind of allocate it toward the hotel. And so you can, do that. Stay at, Contemporary Grand Floridian, stay at Boardwalk Beach Club, Yacht Club, where you can walk from studios or, so just to avoid Disney transportation, because that's the biggest. And even, the Uber and Lyfts, they're more expensive and they're less available, and there's nothing worse than walking out of the Magic Kingdom and seeing the queue for the ferry, for the monorail, and for the buses, like all converge at one point, and then you just walk right by them to the Contemporary, and you're home in 10 minutes. You could see the home, and it's just like the beacon calling you. It's the weenie, right? And so literally, calling you. So take your money and use it wisely on you for your vacation. So
that's a great point.
Yeah, we've picked certain hotels because they also have like activities if you want to stay out of the parks. Like I have a threshold with crowds, and it was New Year's Eve, and the kids were young, and I was like, I can't handle going to Magic Kingdom. So we parked hard all day. We were staying at Poly. They were doing a bunch of things. You could watch the fireworks from there. They had a bunch of things for the kids for New Year's, so we just did that, and that was fantastic. Like if you don't want to go deal with the bananas at the parks, the resorts do a lot of cool things for the holidays. 4th of July too, they do stuff.
Yeah, and they'll have character meet and greets at the resorts during the
Yeah.
holidays as well. So
yeah, we're staying at Yacht Club for New Year's Eve this year, solely to be able to walk back from Epcot, and that's it. Like there's like, and I've stayed there multiple times. I don't need to stay there. I always like to kind of stay in new places. And Monique's going to be with us, and so we're like, ooh, maybe we should do a villa or something. They put the kids somewhere else and have just more space for us. I was like, you know what? No, I just want to be able to walk. I do not want to have to rely on any transportation to get anywhere. So
Yeah.
right. And even the Skyliner line can be crazier during peak times. It's crazy at park open and close anyway, but the rest of the day is fine. But peak times, it can even be a touch more.
Yeah.
Because they can't increase capacity of the Skyliner. Like buses, you run more buses. The Skyliner has a fixed capacity. So a peak season is when the Skyliner shows its one weakness. That's, well, 2 weaknesses, thunder and lightning. That's...
Yeah.
Okay, it's got a couple, but anyway, can't add more Skyliner like you can buses. So, all right, Lauren, what's your next tip?
So my next one, when we are especially again Christmas, New Year's week, or 4th of July with the kids, I prepare them that we're probably going to do like some more shows and some more B rides, just because I don't want to wait in the long line. And those are usually still, if it's a walk on, you can like Little Mermaid or something, midway through the morning. So we'll have a whole discussion about that so that they know we're not going to go probably be able to ride every single attraction we want to ride and do all like the, e-ticket attractions. I think just setting good expectations for them. My kids have always done fine with that. Like we're going to go maybe do more resorts and check out the holiday decorations or something like that. We haven't seen, Carousel Progress in the last few trips. We're going to do that this trip. And they do fine with it. Like it's kind of like it's our slow down and smell the flowers kind of trip to make sure that they're not like, well, we didn't ride, this roller coaster 3 times. And I was like, this is not the trip for that. And they do pretty good with that.
But will you do Country Bears?
We have done Country Bears when it's very busy. That's probably the only time we do it.
Okay. Still not a fan, are you?
It's better. Alex looks grumpy.
It's not better.
It's better.
It's not
I
better.
knew the opinions here.
I still
It's
don't
not
really
better.
want to go.
It's so much better. Oh, I'll die on that hill. It's so much better. Yeah, I think setting expectations of the busyness. So, all right, my last one. This was our third time round, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to say have some dining reservations. I think when we go at the peak times, 4th of July, definitely New Year's, Christmas, we've had a sit down reservation every day. And if that sounds excessive, sure. But here's the beauty of it is counter service gets mobbed. And the slow time for counter service becomes just right when they open. And that's actually like, we've stood in line waiting for Columbia Harbor House to open, right? Like that's how busy counter service can get. And so having that sit down reservation, it just so much less stressful. Having someone bring me a drink while I just sit there, and then they can keep bringing us refills, and it's wonderful. So sit down reservations, throw a character meal in there, even better, because then you don't have to wait in line for a character if that's what you want to do. So reservations like that. And the other little reservation you can make to really help yourself is fireworks dessert parties. So all the reservations, kind of covering that whole blanket as I wrap up here. Is that something you guys try to do?
Yeah, we always have a sit down, even on regular trips, at least once a day usually. The firework, that's a really good one. Like we've done that for 4th of July. That was fantastic. And it doesn't don't tell Disney, but they don't usually change the price. So it's the same price.
Don't say that, Lauren.
I know, but it's usually the same price. It's a really good deal because they could jack it up, but they haven't figured that out yet, or they don't think about it. So that is a great use if you do want to go see the fireworks, to go to do a dessert party.
Yeah, we're a family of 7, and you're 6, you're 5.
Yeah.
There's no tables for 7.
No.
And if there is, there's one person sitting at it on their phone, taking up the whole table. And so,
yes.
and listen, mobile order is your friend. If you're not going to make, don't want to make table service dining, which I completely understand, use mobile order as much as you can. But no matter what you do for mobile order, you're still a man without a country walking around with a tray full of food with an angry spouse and a, hungry child looking for a place to sit. And so they used to do, sometimes they'll implement, controls on allowing people only to sit who have food. I think that's not.
I haven't done that for a few years.
No, that cast member did not get renewed, right? And so there's no, and so unfortunately, and so do a dining reservation, and then for the dessert party, so do the post fireworks, check in, go to the garden area first to claim your spot, and then because all the people who are doing the pre are eating their desserts and then show up and get not the great spots. And then when you're done, then you get to go enjoy the post. And so they've, included some alcoholic beverages now. And then I think that probably the post stays open for like 90 minutes. And so
it's a pretty good amount of time.
You can't make a full meal out of it. They haven't, figured out how to do like hors d'oeuvres or kind of heavy snacky foods like that. It's all just dessert, right? And it's Disney dessert, so they're all just okay. But I think it's a really good thing, and so do a counter service and then go do do that dessert party. I literally just booked this for somebody who's going in 2 weeks, and so I have that. I've already given that spiel one time, so.
Nice. Yeah, the dessert party it's a meal if you do it right. There's fruit there, so you can call it that.
It's a Disney meal, right?
Yeah. You're going to have to snack elsewhere. They used to have the cheeseburger egg rolls before COVID, and somehow COVID got rid of that, and it hasn't been able to come back. It's because they started selling them on the other side of the park with a long line. That's the only reason, right?
Yeah, for two for $10 or whatever it is.
Right. Instead of I would get 7, on a plate.
Yeah.
But that was like, kids, this is dinner. Eat up, right?
But I think that's a good point. Don't go do a sit down and then go to the dessert party. Go do counter service, so you can actually eat food, because we made that mistake before.
Yeah, well, you're spending so much money. The value is a nice, normally unencumbered view of the castle. And then Tinkerbell flies right over that garden area. We have not done God, they didn't call it treats and seats, but I didn't like our experience with treats and seats when we did it. When that kind of first iteration, because we were underneath the overhang, and so like we couldn't see anything, and so because they only have so many tables that are unexposed, and so we normally
and they didn't let you move over.
It was so long ago. You kind of just
used to.
Yeah, they wanted you to stay at your table. Yeah.
Oh.
Now they have you go hover over the people who have the good seats. You're like, kids,
right.
Go breathe on this person, right? That's how they do it now. They should just move it all away.
I still like this version the best because I'm not crowded. Like I hate being. Yeah. You used to have it where they limited how many. Mm-hmm. I mean, they still do, but they really oversell it now. So I'd rather be in the seats, and I feel like people are really good about letting other people in, and they haven't overcrowded that yet. So we've had the good seats and had people move closer to us, and that didn't bother us at all. We've been the people that had to move over, and people were welcoming. I personally like that version better. I know Michelle doesn't because it's a little bit obstructed compared to the plaza.
And it's off center, and it's not the best vantage point. And so I
like my space.
Oh, sign me up for a seat all day long. But yes,
I agree with sign up for the seat. What it's not going to get you is your perfect Instagram picture, right? Of the fireworks.
I'm okay with that.
That's what you're not going to get from the seats and treats. Where with the regular dessert party you do, and with older kids now, next time we do it, we're 100% doing the you eat afterwards, right? But with little kids, you kind of need to do the eat before. Not necessarily. You can mess with the kids' schedule with that midday nap.
Well, I mean, right now the fireworks are at 8 o'clock.
Early.
Yeah.
So in the winter, that's easier to do.
Yeah. When the summertime, when they're at 10 o'clock, because it doesn't get dark till 8:30, then it's a lot harder. So
it is. All right. Well, that is our tips for dealing with peak Disney crowds. And we may talk a little more about this in the after show. We may talk about who knows what in the after show with Alex. He just got back from a trip, so I'm sure we'll talk about that. But we're going to head to the after show soon. So if you are looking at booking a trip to Walt Disney World, reach out to our friends at Touring and Cruises, where you might find Alex or Lauren or Michelle or any of the other lovely faces over there at Touring and Cruises. Lots of deals coming in 2026, if I might say so. Right, guys?
Yeah, so we got kids-free dining. There's already discounts out through midsummer. And we don't have any knowledge because Disney doesn't tell us anything ahead of time. But typically in January, we see more discounts. So it'd be good if you were booked. We will check that for you. We will automatically adjust the pricing for you. Did I miss anything, Alex?
That Disney Visa card that just came out, but it's really
very specific
to just 6 hotels. I think it's Boardwalk is the only one. I think it's the All Stars, the Animal Kingdom, and and then there's the Disney Plus one, but it doesn't include a ticket to the Magic Kingdom, and so Touring and Cruises we just went, had our 5th birthday. I met a bunch of the agents. Everybody's super knowledgeable, right? And so reach out to, info at Touring and Cruises, and you'll get a good agent. I just went through the nightmare scenario of I couldn't imagine getting somebody booked and then not realizing they don't have a ticket to the Magic Kingdom. So
right.
Oof.
Yeah.
That would be awful.
Yeah. And so
hard pass.
Yeah, because Disney's not gonna. When you call it a Disney, they're not telling you that. So they're just telling you here's your Disney Plus discount. So
did you have to explain that to several people? Because I did. I had a couple of people reach out to me and they're like, "I want this deal," and I'm like, "You want to go to the Magic Kingdom, so you don't." And they're like, "What?"
Yes. So all people see is this price, this percentage off.
Price, but there's a reason.
So, I know.
Back to that first tip you gave, right? That's why you use a travel advisor. All right. And if you're flying from the Nebraska area, make sure you check out Breeze Airways at Lincoln Airport for a direct flight from Lincoln to MCO, nonstop to the Magic. And soon we'll be on the way to Disneyland this spring, also using the definition of spring that Disney uses. So All right, we're going to get over to the after show. Make sure you follow us on social media at Rope Drop Radio on all the things. And we'll be over there, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, so for Alex and Lauren, I'm Doug. This has been another Rope Drop Radio. Hey, rope droppers, thanks for watching this whole video. Why don't you take a moment to make sure you subscribe, watch the next thing, last thing, try to watch something else, but make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching Rope Drop Radio.